Hey chocolate friends, Carla with Opening Chocolate here today, and today I'm going to talk about a chocolate maker from the United States. We are going to talk about Stonegrindz chocolate out of Scottsdale, Arizona. That is in the southwest United States. Scottsdale is kind of like a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. So it was actually started, well, let me show you. These are the bars that I have from them. They're big bars. They have beautiful, colorful, for some reason I don't have the most colorful ones, colorful paintings on them. They were started in December of 2012, so we're coming up on their 10-year anniversary. Congratulations, guys. By Shipler and Kasey McCaslin. Steven is from Dallas, Texas originally, and Kasey is from North Carolina. So they don't really have any background in food studies or anything like that. Steven and his dad, when they were younger, would go to new restaurants in Dallas all the time and explore flavors and go home and try and reverse engineer them. And Kasey says that she always grew up liking all of the sweet things. So they both moved to Arizona when they were 18-year-olds to go to Arizona State University, which is where I did my master's, so I got a little affiliation with that. Go Sun Devils! Yeah, so they were both at Arizona State University, and they had a job working at the Bread Basket Bakery, which I don't even know if that's around anymore. I haven't seen it last time I was in Arizona. My husband's family is also from Arizona, so we go back there every once in a while. I don't know if Bread Basket Bakery still exists, but anyway, that's where they met. They both had jobs at Bread Basket Bakery, and they would go to the farmers markets on Saturday and sell baked goods. Eventually, they decided that they wanted to make something on their own to sell at the market, something local. They started researching, and they were kind of in an earthy phase, and so they decided to do raw nutrition bars, kale chips, stone ground nut butter, and stone ground raw chocolate. So their first market went great. They sold out of their chocolate, but eventually things cooled down, and then one morning they were at the Mesa Farmers Market, which is another kind of suburb of Phoenix, and a man came up to them and he said, "Your chocolate tastes like crap in not so nice way. It completely crumbled apart. It tasted like garbage, and I threw it away." If there's any chocolate makers watching, you know that can be a little bit heartbreaking, but at this time, Steven and Kasey didn't even know that chocolate needed to be tempered. They had no idea what tempering was. And so this is kind of when chocolate became the focus of their business. So, like I said, they have no professional training. They're all self-taught. They went and they explored chocolate making more. They did a lot of research. They got on chocolate alchemy like everybody does who's making craft chocolate. They spent 4 years experimenting with roasting profiles and learning how to temper, because that's important. And the focus became quality, not quantity. So, and you can see that now they have a lot of award-winning bars. Just recently in the last round of the International Chocolate Awards, they did win some more awards. So they definitely improved their quality along the way. One of the things that happened to them as a chocolate maker was kind of a fortuitous malfunction. So one day while they were roasting in a convection oven, they took a temperature reading and it showed that it was way too high. So they lowered the temperature. But when it came out, it was exactly in the right place where it was supposed to be. So now that's kind of their thing. They roast at a way lower temperature that most people wouldn't even call a roasting temperature, but they do it for a much, much longer time. So they have a lighter roast, but they do a longer conch. So that is a little bit different way that they make their chocolate. And you know what? If everyone made their chocolate the same way, there wouldn't be the variety we have. So yay. So I have 3 bars from them right now. I have the almond butter black lava salt. This is 80%. I have the crystallized ginger, which is a 55%. And I have the Wild Bolivia, which is a 70%. I think I might open these 2. I may just open 1, I'm not sure. So let's flip the camera around and we'll both be surprised at what I'm tasting. So let's get to it. All right, so here's the 3 bars that I have. Very different percentages, actually huge differences. It may seem small, a difference between a 70 and an 80, but that's a really big difference as far as taste goes. And then I have this one, which I would categorize more like a dark milk. Well, this is, I don't know if this has milk in it. Yeah, it's got some other ingredients. So this is a much lower percentage. So big difference between all of these bars with the percentage. So these bars, their art, they work with a local artist named Joe Mel, who designs all their colorful wrappers, and he was inspired by the traditional art of South America, which is where a lot of their beans come from. I think this one, yes, this one comes from Madagascar. So this one is not South American, but a lot of their beans are. So we've got Bolivia and Peru. So that, and you can see this comes from a whole kind of medallion that he made. If you go to their website, you can see the whole medallion, but they're beautiful and colorful, and they definitely stand out on the shelves. So let's take a look. I think I'm going to open this almond butter black lava salt because I have not had this one before and I'm interested in trying their 80%. So I told you about that. We've got 80%. They've got the llama inspired by South America. Stonegrindz small batch. I don't know about this Stonegrindz label. Technically, if you're going through like a melanger or any kind of processing, usually it's Stonegrindz. Sometimes Stonegrindz means it's got a coarser texture, but I don't think that's the case here. So let's see what we got in the back. So these beans are from Madagascar. We're not going to look at those. We scour the world for the highest quality beans. Again, I don't love that language because I'm pretty sure they're buying from a broker and not actually going in direct trading, but it is what it is. They're in Scottsdale, Arizona. They roast, hand sort, winnow, conch, all of the things that small batch bakers do. This says this is Kasey's favorite, so that'll be interesting to try. We've got ingredients here: cacao butter, cane sugar, roasted almonds, and sea salt. So technically organic, but not certified organic, which is fine. Certification costs money. So you hate to do that to like smallholder farmers and such. So also soy-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free, vegan, fair traded. Let's see. All right, so let's open this up and take a look at it. So inside we've got crafted in the desert. Okay, so here's the stone grinding. Most chocolate makers are making their chocolate this way. I don't know that I would define that as stone ground, but technically it's not untrue. I like the bar with the, see if I can get it. Let's take it out here. So I've got the llama on the front, or maybe it's an alpaca. I don't know enough about llamas or alpacas to be able to tell the difference. So this is actually, I'm kind of surprised by the color of this. I guess it's the almond butter in it. So it's a very light, if you handed me this bar to just look at, I wouldn't guess that this is an 80%. I would guess that this is a milk chocolate. So it's not bad, not super shiny, but it doesn't look too bad. Let's snap it and see what we can hear. Yep, a little bit of snap there, so that's good. What I like, you know what I do like about this bar? I like the thickness. When bars get thicker and they take longer to dissolve in your mouth when you're tasting them, sometimes it can change the flavor. So I really like the thickness of this bar. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to just rub my thumb on this. I'm going to warm up the cocoa butter to release some of the volatile compounds and check for the smell, see what I could smell, and then I'm going to taste it and we'll be back. All right, so this is intriguing to me because first off, I don't get a whole lot of aroma coming from this bar. I am curious, I might open another bar just to check. Sometimes when you do a long conch, you can conch out all of those volatile compounds that like will kind of evaporate off of the chocolate and you can be left with less aroma. So I don't know if that's what's going on here. Maybe I have COVID, who knows? I think my taste buds are working okay. This is a nice bar. The 80% baffles me a little bit. It's nice to eat. It's definitely, again, I would not guess this. If you handed me without the wrapper and said, what percentage is this bar? I would have guessed a much, much lower percentage. It has nice buttery flavor from the almond butter. You definitely get the salt, so it's very inclusion forward. It's not cacao forward. The cacao is in the background. It's very mild. Again, I would never have guessed this to be an 80%. I am going to open, so I opened this bar to just show you that color difference here. Sorry, I just popped another piece in my mouth. Oh, I can see this one's had some issues. All right. So it looks nice on the front, but take a look at this color difference. So this, can you see that? This is an 80%. This is a 70%. Now I know this has an inclusion, but it's still an 80%. Look at the color difference. I honestly, looking at this, tasting this, I would never guess that it's an 80%. So this one is a 70%. These beans are from Madagascar. These ones are from Bolivia. So this is a single origin bar. Let's listen to the snap on this one. Good snap. Again, I really like the thickness of this bar. I think this is pretty much an ideal thickness for dark chocolate, especially for when you're tasting it, not just munching it down. This one again doesn't have very much aroma to it. I get a spice note to it. But yeah, let me take a minute and just concentrate it on it and see what I get. All right, so this one again, I don't get a lot of aroma off of it. I do get a little bit of a spice, maybe nutmeg or cinnamon, a warm baking spice. I get a little, again, the flavors are all really, really muted. I've had to taste this 3 or 4 times just to pull out a few flavors. The overwhelming flavor is definitely chocolate, almost like a whipped ganache or a chocolate buttercream. A little bit of a, because the mouthfeel is so smooth, it does have a really nice mouthfeel. Melts really nicely, releases flavors, even though they're muted, it does release them. You get a chocolate. It's definitely chocolate. This is the first flavor you get, like a whipped ganache or a chocolate buttercream. It's a little bit sweet, but definitely not cloyingly sweet at all. There's a little bit of an acid in there. It's, again, the flavors are so delicate that it's really hard to pull them out. Maybe green banana, maybe papaya. There is also a floral in there, but I can't really nail that one down either. So this is a very gentle 70% if you want to go into the market. The aftertaste is mild but lingering, so it's a pleasant aftertaste. Yeah, not a bar that, I don't know how to even describe this. It's a good bar, but if you're looking for unique, distinct flavors, it's going to be hard to pick out on this one, even from the aroma. So that's, and I think that is a product again of the long conch. The long conch gives them this delightful mouthfeel so that every particle is coated in cocoa butter and released a lot of, it can release a lot of the unwanted volatiles, but I think they probably also release some of the flavor compounds that you'd want to stay in there as well. So yeah, I buy Stonegrindz regularly, so not bad, but if you're looking for something that has really strong, identifiable flavor profiles, this may not be the bar for you, but definitely a good 70%. I can see why it won an award. This one is very tasty, but again, baffling to me that it's an 80%. So yeah, I'm gonna eat some more of this as soon as I finish filming this. So yeah, good bar. I can see why this is Kasey's favorite as well. So let's flip the camera around and we'll finish up. All right, so that was Stonegrindz chocolate out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I didn't open this one because it has ginger in it, and that's a botanical that I can talk about. So look for this bar to show up in a Bar Bits video on another day. So I hope that you found this interesting, that you know more about Stonegrindz chocolate. And if you've tasted Stonegrindz, have a favorite flavor of theirs, let me know in the comments, and I will make sure to try and pick it up next time I go to Arizona. And I hope that you guys will join me next week when we talk about more things chocolate, and I'll see you then.